Hey guys, it's Hegemony here, and today I wanted to go over the term scrubcore and how it's used in a derogatory sense and how it's actually hurting the game. Um, GGG has let us know that 75% of the PoE population play on Standard League. What does this mean? This means that the majority of the financial backing are coming from Standard League players. So when we throw around this term scrubcore, you're actually making these people feel insignificant, and which will end up resulting in hurting the development of the game. It's ironic that some of the greatest PvPers play on Standard and don't care anything about the new leagues or the new challenges or anything like that. All they do is care about is PvP, and they want to min-max. They fully understand the matchups. Yeah, there are a bunch more items readily available on Standard, and it's that driving push to play against each other instead of like AI or computer content that pushes them to the limit. When they play against each other, the sportsmanship, it's all there. Um, PvP is actually very great in PoE. You just have to give it a chance and try to understand it. Um, and there are other reasons that people play Standard. Sometimes it's just the technical reasons. Sometimes it's bad frame rates, frequent disconnects, laggy or crappy internet. All those are viable reasons someone would play Standard League. Another couple other good reasons that people play Standard is some people, their personality, they're genuinely just DPS enthusiasts. This means that you know they can run interesting builds that are surrounded about around efficiency. And when you go to these massive crit builds, there are very big drawbacks like reflect and stuff like that that definitely set them back. So there's a good what do you want to call it, respectable genre of builds that work in Standard but won't work in hardcore. Hardcore, you always have to have that balance. You can't just go to all out damage. You can't just go all out defense. You need a good balance, and those are the really strong hardcore builds. But I feel like in Standard you get to see interesting builds that you would never see in hardcore, and this is a aspect of the game that people are really interested and keen on. Like, I can make a build that'll clear faster than this build. I have these resources, and many people will claim that the softcore market is broken. I don't feel like it's broken. I just feel like it's different. It's definitely uh, there's a lot more currency going around, a lot more quality items. They're getting close to perfect, but with this most recent patch with the Veil Orb, it brought a whole new definition to a Standard economy. Now a chance of ruining your hard-earned work on these items can be completely destroyed. So the crafting scene has definitely been stirred through the new patch, the Veil Orbs, and all the new Veil Gems and all that kind of stuff. So Standard enthusiasts, they have plenty more of content on their plate, even though that they're not participating in the new leagues. Other reasons people play: crafting, flipping, PvP, which we mentioned, PvE, achievements, grinding, farming. When we talk about PvP, like, I'm pretty sure that I could financially back somebody in a hardcore league with unlimited amounts of currency, and they would still lose because they're not fully aware or in tune with the matchups. This game is a lot like Magic the Gathering, like Rory said. He said it's like he wants there to be a counter for everything that's very strong. It can't just remain untouched, the be all go to spec of choice in PvP, and it's in that spot, and it's only getting better. I mean, they're returning abilities to make PvP more balanced, but they got the right idea going. The uniques, all that stuff. The understanding of PvP is paramount. You could have all the currency in the world and still not get a win against these top tier PvPers, and they happen to play on Standard. Which I think, with the exception of Ox, most of the PvP talent do play on Standard leagues. So as far as the PvP competition, look for the spiciest, best competition and most interesting matchups probably on standard. We're gonna go ahead replay some of the things that Chris said, so I'm not, you guys know that this is the way the developers feel about this, stigma of the community. But I'm gonna go ahead and play you some clips, and you guys can see for proof that this is a problem, and people that go around using this term, especially with Twitch streamers, because we seem to be the predominant public appearance. Most people that stream on PoE stream hardcore leagues, and it's not a good representation of the actual population. So let's go ahead and see what Chris has to say about the community and what's been happening and how it affects them.
The community, there's a very strong sense of elitism.
This is a theme,
and I've also seen quite some threats about people being very offensive to new players and very intolerant. Like, how do you guys plan to tackle that? Because I can understand that is sometimes very, very annoying for you guys.
The community is honestly getting a lot better, I think. There's, it's both the nasty people leaving and people generally being more tolerant of new players, but it goes through cycles. Sometimes the community is super helpful, and sometimes it's just poisonous and horrible, and I think at the moment it's getting a bit better. I don't know, I mean, we try hard to crack down on people actually just, being really nasty to noobs. Like, there are certain things in chat that will get you muted if you're blatantly feeding someone completely wrong information and doing it in a way that's going to hurt their gaming experience, like telling them things that will ruin their character. That kind of stuff we don't really tolerate.
I'm going to
make it just an accepted thing that people are going to have to OOS for the rest of their lives, then it reduces incentive for us to actually fix the problem better. So I would love to actually see a real fix rather than another band-aid.
I'm a player that has played Nemesis for quite a while, and a lot of people say that normal game, like the normal play, that it's almost like, even though I know softcore is, most people play on softcore, it's being frowned upon really like crazy by the elite community, to say it like that. And they also say that the economies there completely destroyed. I have never played softcore, but are there any plans of making softcore more part of the elite experience, to say it like that in the most simple way, so more people feel like playing there when having that, even though you have a hardcore mindset?
We did a few things to address this, because I completely agree that the stigmatization of softcore is really, really negative. And the reason for this, the reason why I think it's bad, is because it means that a lot of people who can't mentally handle hardcore deaths feel that they have to play in hardcore because all the cool guys play there. If Chris and Crip and Athene are playing hardcore, then why would they want to play standard? And the problem is, they try hardcore and they die because they're not veteran D2 players, and then they feel bad about the game and quit. So I would rather that people were playing in the softcore leagues, if it were at all possible.
Chris, that's how I'm feeling. I really feel like I am forced to play on hardcore. I've said it so many times. I want to play softcore, but people are judging me so hard. I'm forced to play. I really feel forced to play hardcore, like really honestly.
I agree. So we did a number of things to try to fix this. The first thing we did was when we were adding the challenge leagues, Domination and Nemesis, and the ones beforehand that you didn't see called Anarchy and Onslaught, we made it so that there was a special thing in the softcore one that the hardcore one didn't have. For example, at the moment, shrines, right? If you're playing in Domination, which is the softcore league, you get shrines, and the hardcore players don't get to see those. The second thing is that to complete the challenges, you have to do some stuff in softcore. Like, for example, in the last one, you had to kill all the rogue exiles, and in this one, you've got to tag all the shrines. So the really hardcore players that want to get to the high challenge number, they have to play in softcore. The third thing is, by having it so that the hardcore characters that die, the Nemesis characters that die, don't go into the Domination League, it means that if you're playing Domination, you're not getting a bad experience where these, like, dead characters are appearing above you in the ladder. Because that makes you feel really worthless, where you've worked really hard to get to level 50, and then some guy appears at level 60, whining about how he just died and how his character's worthless now, even though it's higher level than yours. These factors, we've been trying really hard to push Domination as a completely valid place to play. Which it is. I mean, so many of the players play there, like 2/3 of them or something.
Yeah. I think one solution, like you said, is... And I don't know if that's possible or not, but it's just
this is the podcast with
you die, you lose
Athene
your
and
character
Chris
completely.
Wilson.
It doesn't get transferred to softcore.
I'm
What
just
is the
showing
idea
you
behind
guys
that,
evidence.
transferring characters to softcore?
the idea was that it encourages more people to try out hardcore, which it succeeded in because our percentage of people playing hardcore is higher than D2 or D3. But of course, this comes with a drawback that people feel they should be playing hardcore because of this.
Yeah.
I'd be very happy for someone to play hardcore to start with, and then they keep playing their character in softcore after they die.
The people
It's
like
just-
it's like when you softcore. I mean, when you're playing softcore, like people, I've tried. People just spit me out. It's like I just
He's
feel
exactly
almost
right.
ashamed playing on it. It's really. I do think permadeath would fix it. To be honest, I really think permadeath would I really think permadeath would make people play softcore. I'm certain about that, because that's the only reason why people play so much softcore in Diablo. It's because when your character dies, it's like almost like it's two different worlds. Now it's too much merged, so it's much easier to go and bash the other ones. I know that if your character wouldn't be transferred, I'd be playing softcore for sure, because it would be more accepted. Because hardcore would be too hardcore, to say it like that.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's
Well, I do see hardcore, like this problem where people criticize each other for not playing hardcore on Nemesis. I do see that as an issue with the game. So to the community, please don't bash people for playing softcore. If they're going to get a better play experience there and have more fun, then it gets the noobs out of your league, so that's good.
So, yeah. Well, it's just like it's something it's one of the reasons why I haven't been playing Path of Exile for the past weeks, is because I
Okay, so you guys get the idea. You guys heard Athene. I mean, Athene was ridiculed and, just stoned pretty much. And it pretty much drove him away from the game. He wanted to play the game on softcore, but everybody on a daily basis was just trolling him, telling me he was a noob, all this kind of stuff. And this is a stigma that happens all the time. So if you are a big time Twitch streamer and you are watching this video, please, for the community's sake, for the development's sake, everybody starts somewhere. There's no reason to bash those people and make them feel insignificant and part of the community. In fact, those people are more than likely the ones with, jobs, and the ones that are able to financially back this company and support them in their game development. So that's my 2 cents. I wanted to reiterate with Chris giving his input in a previous podcast so that people could hear from the man himself that using the term scrubcore is detrimental in the development and the overall success of this game. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later.